Hey, it's Evan from the future here, and I just wanted to really quick call myself out for something I think I said in my last video, that I would be putting out a new video every week this winter, and that video was posted back in January, and it's now March 4th. Things this winter got really busy for me on top of doing an art show every week and raising a baby who's actually now a toddler. That meant that editing YouTube videos became something that wasn't quite a priority for me. But the good news is I still filmed a video every week, and now that my show schedule is slowing down a bit, I finally have some time to edit them. And yes, I totally appreciate the irony that the video you're about to watch is about staying consistent and hitting your goals, and I'm starting off by saying that I fell flat on my goals at the beginning of the video. But it really became more of a struggle, and I just had to prioritize things over the past month and a half. So anyway, please make sure that you're subscribed here because I did film some really great stuff this winter that I'm excited to share with you. Make sure that looks neat. Okay. Good morning. I'm here in Naples, Florida this weekend to exhibit at ArtFest Naples Invitational at Fleischman Park. And I'm just sitting here in my hotel room this morning because it's 45 degrees outside, and I'm trying to kill as much time as I can before I have to go outside and head down to the show. This is my first away from home show of the year, and it's a little tough to be away from Milo and my wife for the weekend. I got so used to being at home with them for such a long stretch that when I have to go away, even just for a few days, it can be a little difficult for me. So I'm just trying to do my best and stay in a positive mindset for the show this weekend. Earlier this week, I was talking to another artist who I'm helping getting started with art shows, and they were expressing to me that they were feeling a little defeated because they're kind of comparing themselves to the level of career that I'm at and saying that, like, oh yeah, I want to be this full-time art festival artist, traveling around the country, doing art shows, and I haven't even really done a show yet, and it just seems so unattainable to me at this point that it's really defeating. And honestly, they're right. And it kind of dawned on me that the way that most people look at goals in any part of their life is really ridiculous. In fact, setting goals in general is a ridiculous practice that a lot of people do, because the goals that most people set are completely meaningless without any plan of action. Because no matter what any of those self-help gurus tell you, you cannot simply set a goal and then just will it into existence. It's not going to happen. So because I'm a bit of a visual learner, I'm going to draw out a diagram of how I look at goals and setting goals and achieving goals for you. So if you are here, that's you, and your goal is up here. Say, you know, I want to be a full-time traveling artist doing art festivals all around the country and make a full-time living doing that. That's up here. You're down here having never done a show yet. This is a really, really long, steep cliff to climb. Just think about it like climbing up a really steep hill. It's really difficult to do. And your goal seems so far away because you're down here looking all the way to the top of this hill. But how are you going to get here? That's what's way more important than what's up here. This, in the middle, is the important part. Not up here. So I always like to think when I have a lofty goal like this, what's the very first thing that I can do, the simplest thing that I can do today that's going to help move me up this hill towards that goal. Someone a really long time ago invented these things called stairs, and that's how I look at this. So instead of looking at this like a really steep hill, I look at it like a stairway. What's the first thing that I can do today that's going to get me 1% closer to the top of this hill? Well, when I was a new artist, I used to go to art shows that I think that maybe I wanted to apply to and exhibit in next year to see if my artwork would fit there with the other artists and the demographic of the area. So that might be the first thing here is go visit a show. And then I can get up one level here. When I went and visited the show, I saw that there's a lot of like high quality artwork there. So I wanted to keep continuing making sure that my artwork was at a quality and consistency level that's going to fit in with the rest of the show. The next thing you might want to do as a new artist is get involved in an emerging artist program for the next year. Emerging artist programs weren't really around that much when I was starting out, but they're becoming a lot more common today, and I'm going to introduce you to someone a little bit later in the video who's working on an emerging artist program now that might be able to help you out. Over time, you just keep going up, making these little steps like, exhibiting in some local shows here. Even your local farmer's market is a great place to start out if you're a new artist and you don't have a lot of money to pay a high booth fee at an art festival. Your local farmer's market probably costs like 40 bucks, and maybe it has a couple artists in it. It's a great place to kind of test the waters and see how you like exhibiting. Doing some local shows, then maybe some regional shows, and before you know it, you're up here at your goal of being a full-time artist. And this process, especially when becoming a full-time artist, took me years and years and years of these little steps going up and just getting a little bit better with what I was doing each year until I reached where I am today. And I don't even feel like I'm at the top of the stairway today. I feel like I'm actually somewhere kind of in the middle of the stairway, because as I got higher on this stairway, my goals and aspirations kept changing and growing and shifting to where you never really reach the top of the stairway, because there's always new things and new aspirations that you want to do. So you never actually reach the top of the stairway, but you're not at the bottom anymore. And it's always neat to look back down and see where you were and where you came from. That's something I always enjoy doing, and why these videos that I make here on YouTube are kind of neat and helpful to me, because I can look back now over the course of several years and be like, wow, remember when I did that show? I thought I was doing so well, and I've just come so far and developed so far in making these videos and doing art shows in my career that those things I did a few years ago seem so foreign to me now. It's like if you look at your artwork that you did, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 20 years ago, back in college, back in high school, whatever it was, and you're like, wow, I thought that was really good at the time, and maybe that artwork kind of sucks now compared to what I'm doing. But if you look at your progress in these little teeny tiny steps, as in like, what can I do today that's going to help advance me, it becomes a lot more manageable and a lot less daunting. And it's tough being at the bottom of the stairway and looking at the top, because you aspire to be up here and you see all the other artists up here hanging out, having a great time, but you don't see the work that they did to get there. And that can be discouraging. I'm not trying to make this like a big motivational self-help video, but don't worry what the people up here are doing. Worry about where you are on this stairway and what the next step is, and focus on that. It's okay to glance at the top, but just focus on the next step and what you can do today that's going to get you into a better place tomorrow. And this doesn't just apply to art. This can apply to anything in your life. So, speaking of where I am today, let's get going. Let's go down to the art show. Let's put our winter jacket on because it's still 45 degrees outside. And there's someone that I want to introduce you to down at the show. So let's get going. Okay, so I'm here with my friend and fellow artist, Diane French. Diane is a dry pigment painter, an artist here at the ArtFest Naples, and Diane is working on an emerging artist program that I want her to tell you guys about. So take it away, Diane.
So the National Association of Independent Artists works to have healthier venues for all of us in this art show industry, and we have developed an emerging artist workshop, which is available to shows of all sizes and all kinds, and it involves a Friday evening, 3 or 4 hours of giving someone who's interested in starting to do art shows all the information they would need, from making a lot of good work, applying to shows, all different kinds of displays and equipment that you need, in the application process, how to handle rejection and acceptance, all kinds of budgeting, and also the etiquette when you're in a show, how to work with good camaraderie with your fellow artists to make the event feel great and be successful for everyone, and also to appreciate the art show directors who sometimes are just volunteers working really hard for us to earn a living at this. So after the evening workshop, then the following morning during the show, it would include a 1 to 2 hour walkthrough so that you can see all the information we've given you in use at the show, and then more questions and answers a few days after that whole experience. So that's what we're providing for new artists, and we hope that you're interested.
So that's really excellent, Diane. And I know a lot of aspiring art festival artists watch these videos, and because I get a lot of questions from them. Where can someone who wants to be involved in the Emerging Artists program that you're running learn more about it?
I would recommend contacting the National Association of Independent Artists at our website. Just fill out the contact information questions, and we will, based on your location, we'll be in touch with you and help you get in touch with a show that's going to take advantage of these workshops.
That's awesome. I'll put a link, direct link to that information in the description of the video, so make sure you check it out. Thank you so much, Diane, for your time.
A pleasure. Great
Thank
to
you.
see you.